After their formation, male and female gametes must be brought together to facilitate gametes together. In majority of male gamete is motile and female gamete is stationary. Sometimes there is a need of medium also. For example, algae, pteridophyta, bryophyta, they need water. In this case, a large number of eggs are produced, a large number of female gametes are produced because they are very vulnerable and due to some they're shed into the external medium, so many of them may damage. Now, this slide is showing us fusion of gametes. Fusion of gametes, then zygote is formed, and from zygote, new individual is formed. Now, in the second slide, you are watching germination of pollen on stigma. You must have come across with the very familiar process that is called pollination. Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the flower, and then a pollen tube is formed due to chemotropism, and then male and female gametes unite, and then these processes are called syngamy and triple fusion. We are very familiar with this process. In class 11th we have studied, in class 10th we have studied. So this is pollination, and in pollination is not always meant automatically. It is done by wind, by water, by browsing animals, and by the most common is butterflies and insects, etc. Whatever the process may take place for the fusion of male gamete and female gamete, this is called fertilization. Now, fertilization is of two types: external fertilization and internal fertilization. External fertilization is when it occurs outside the body of female. For example, bony fish, amphibians, most of the alga, they all give their eggs and sperms in outside the body of the organism, and then the fertilization takes place in external medium. And internal fertilization occurs inside the body of the female. Only male gametes are released from the body. Examples are reptiles, birds, mammals, bryophytes, gymnosperms, etc. In external fertilization, young ones develop unprotected from the beginning. It involves large degree of chance. And in internal fertilization, it's a surer method because in internal fertilization takes place inside the body of the female, and young ones are protected during their early development. Now, in honeybees, rotifers, and even some lizard and birds, etc., just like turkey, the female gamete undergoes development to form new organism without fertilization. This phenomenon is called parthenogenesis. In this slide, you're watching that female honeybee is having 32 chromosomes and male is having 16. In male, always mitosis takes place, and 16 chromosomes are in gamete. 16 chromosomes are present, and by fertilization 16 and 16 gametes when meet, then female is produced, and male always is produced by unfertilization without fertilization, and it is having 16 chromosomes. So male is always having 16 chromosomes and female is having always 32 chromosomes. So the females are diploid, having 32 chromosomes, and males are haploid, that is having 16 chromosomes. This is called haplodiploid sex determination system and has special characteristic features such as the male produce sperms by mitosis. They don't have father and thus cannot have sons, but have a grandfather and can even have grandsons. Now, next process is embryogenesis. Embryogenesis refers to the development of embryo from the zygote. During embryogenesis, zygote undergoes cell division and cell differentiation. Cell division means increase of the number of cells in the developing embryo, and cell differentiation helps group of cells to undergo certain modifications to form specialized tissues and organs to form an organism. In this regard, the animals are categorized into three categories. oviparous, viviparous, and ovoviviparous. In this slide, we are seeing the difference between oviparous and viviparous animals. Oviparous animals are those animals in which female lay fertilized or unfertilized eggs, and viviparous when females give birth to young ones. In oviparous, females lay eggs in safe place in the environment, but chances of survival are less. In all birds, most of reptiles and egg-laying mammals. In viviparous mammals, except egg-laying mammals, females deliver young ones, and the chances of survival are more. In this regard, we have one more example of ovoviviparous. Ovoviviparous are organisms in which animal female retains the egg inside the body after fertilization and allows the development of the embryo inside the body without providing extra nourishment to the developing embryo as the placenta is absent. Now, examples are sharks, rattlesnake are the examples of ovoviviparous. In this slide, we can sum up the differences between gametogenesis and embryogenesis. Gametogenesis means it is the formation of haploid gametes, and embryogenesis, as I have told you earlier, it is the formation and development of multicellular embryo from unicellular zygote. Gametogenesis is of two types, spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Spermatogenesis means formation of sperms and oogenesis means formation of eggs or ovum. And gametogenesis occurs by meiosis. And in embryogenesis, embryogenesis involves cell division to increase the number of cells, cell growth, and cell differentiation. Cell differentiation, I have already told you that group of cells, when perform differentiate to form different types of functions. And this embryogenesis always takes place by mitosis. You are aware about mitosis and meiosis as we have studied in detail in class 11th. Gametogenesis, it leads to fertilization, and embryogenesis, it leads to organogenesis, means organ formation.